tell me something that you had to change in yourself that allowed you to graduate to marriage. Because it's one thing to date, right? It's one thing to have proximity, to have compatibility all these years. But what's something about you that you had to change to make the marriage work?
You know what, honestly, truthfully, because we got into a relationship so early, and then because we got married so early, I don't think we found that out until after we got married.
Okay. Okay.
And see, the reason why I think this is so critical is because throughout your relationship, if you're going to be with somebody for 50 years, 60 years, like our grandmothers and our great grandmothers used to stay married for that long, you're going to find that you change. You're going to have to. You're going to have to be able to adapt. And that started off very early in us. And I think for me, I learned to accept whatever it is that, well, I should say this. I learned to not try to change him. Let him figure it out on his own. There was some changing that I needed to do. So I started looking inwardly, but I couldn't change who he was. I had to let him live it out. And it's okay.
Tina, can I cut you off a little bit?
Sure.
And I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to isolate something, because there are women watching tonight, either in relationships or in marriages, and they see your marriage and your relationship. And anybody looking at the two of you would know you love each other. You're in love and your marriage works. But I'm hoping, with your permission, can you identify what it was you needed to change in you, so that the women who are watching can know that Trina wasn't always what she is now. It's a journey to get to what she is.
Yeah. And it's something that I think I'm still working on. I had to learn how to not be so mouthy. And that one thing that drew him into me, like he said, like being a mother, I think that I've always had that in me. So I'm always trying to correct. I'm always trying to make sure that you're doing things right. I'm always trying to say, hey, no, do it this way, do it my way. And like I said, it's something that I'm actually still working on. I think we all, like, for most part, most women have to work on that, because we have that innate ability to want to nurture and want to correct things. And I had to pull back and say, no, there's some things that are out of my control, and I have to be okay with that. And it didn't necessarily mean that I had to give up on the relationship. It taught me patience. It taught me to be forgiving. It taught me to be tolerant. There's a lot of things that I feel like came in after we were already married. Sure, we should have went through these things before we had gotten married, but I think that's what kept us together for so long, is because we're allowing each other to make a mistake, and it's okay. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay. We'll still be together.
Look, I love all of that. Yeah. Tell me something about you that needed to change to make the marriage work. I'll adjust the question.
Okay, sure. Yeah, because when we were going into marriage, we literally eloped, and it's not even really elope. Elope means you go somewhere nice in some little distant place that nobody knows. We went to the Justice of the Peace downtown Bridgeport, Connecticut, and got married. So we treated our marriage like we were going together, and I didn't change my mindset towards our relationship until after we were already married. I went from being a boyfriend to a husband, but I kept acting like a boyfriend. And what I had to realize was there's certain freedoms that you willingly give when you get married. I don't want to make it seem like, you're forced into it, because I wasn't. I willingly gave over those freedoms. So now we're together. And I didn't treat it like that until later on in our marriage. Initially, our first couple of years, we say it all the time. We're very transparent. We didn't know what we were doing.
Not a clue.
We were just going together and saying we were married. We were going together with the same last name. But once I learned the responsibilities of a husband, and that doesn't always mean, of course, it's providing and protecting, but more so loving in the way that she deserved to be loved.
Yeah.
Once I realized what that meant, and there's a whole life's journey to learning what that means. Once I learned that, I was able to treat her like she deserved to be treated, not just like how I knew to treat her.
All of that's rich and helpful and powerful, really, because what I sense you're doing tonight is really taking people into the secret science of how to make this thing work.
Yeah.
And that is something I said this. Dr. Jeff was on my program a few weeks ago. You know, he's the famed television.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Dr. Jeff is amazing. Shout out to Dr. Jeff.
He is.
He's amazing. But I said this to him, and I'll say it to you. I don't understand why we don't teach people how to be in relationships. There's no formal instruction on marriage. Now people tell you you should be married, and they tell you you should be monogamous, but nobody teaches you how to do it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So nobody teaches you how to master yourself enough and control and manage yourself enough to be in somebody else's life.
Right.
It's true. There's a whole psychology behind being married to someone. It's not just as good as just walking down the aisle and saying your vows. And
what is the psychology of marriage? I love that, because I'm stealing that. Hold on.
I should have put my claim on it before. I think my book. I think the person who helped me write my book is on, so I need him to write that down right quick.
The psychology of marriage. Go ahead, take me into this.
But it is. It's understanding. It's not only understanding yourself, but it's understanding someone else and how they're going to respond and what causes them to respond the way they do. Knowing family history, and I think that's one of the reasons why I stayed with him, because I knew his family history. I knew that in his family, there was a history of people leaving. When they couldn't get things right, they would leave, they would abort and just go. And I refused to be that person. I said, no, I'm not going to be like everyone else in your life who walked away. I'm going to help you through whatever issues this is, and I'm going to stay here. So it's a selflessness about being married. It takes you out of the way, and it makes you put that person first. No matter what that person is suffering from, I'm still going to put you first. So that's just a little bit. I'm not going to give you too much, because now I think I want to write a book. So I'm not going to give you too much.
But if you write the book on the psychology of marriage, give me a little credit for asking me.
I will.
I'm just saying, I'm a firm believer that your life is not defined by the people who walked away. It's determined rather by the people who loved you enough to stay.